It's a Windows handheld. Upgrading the CPU without changing the shell is common sense. But surprisingly, the Flip ES made changes from the first-gen Flip. First, the shell. The front casing now uses metal. While not completely fingerprint-proof, it's a huge improvement, like night and day. My Flip ES here uses a black and yellow color scheme. At first glance, it looks bigger and heavier than the first generation, but both are in the 600-gram range, so that little difference doesn't really matter. As for the ports, the OC port on the back has been removed, but the remaining two Type-C ports have been upgraded. Both now support video output and charging. To be honest, the ports are still a bit too minimalistic. On the front, it still keeps the previous setup. 2 speakers, a 3.5mm headphone jack, and a microphone input. Opening the top cover, you can see there have been quite a few internal adjustments. The entire lower part of the handheld is packed full. The hinge uses a stepless design, allowing for smooth adjustment from 0 to 180 degrees. It feels very smooth, and compared to the first generation's hover design, it's definitely a big improvement. The secondary screen is bigger, upgraded from 3.5 to 4.5 inches. Its 3:2 aspect ratio is great for retro games. To ensure a seamless experience between the main and secondary screens, all functional buttons moved below the secondary screen. These include the secondary screen interaction, home, volume, fingerprint power, and optical mouse buttons. Controller operations integrated on both sides of the secondary screen. Personally, my fingers feel cramped pressing dual S buttons. Joysticks still recessed, upgraded to TMR type. Cap smaller, resistance reduced, much lighter to operate than first generation. Testing shows the joystick polling rate can reach over 900 Hz, and the resolution can hit 300 or higher, so the joystick quality is quite good. The D-pad and action buttons still use the overload sheet design, but now the key travel is longer and the feedback from pressing them is better. Because it's an overload sheet design, it's not as likely to have issues like key ghosting or sticking that you might get with conductive rubber. The shoulder buttons on top and the 2 extra buttons both use tactile switches, and the feel is pretty average. The 2 extra buttons are mapped to bring up the menu and to ESC for exiting. The handheld's bottom grip area still incorporates some ergonomic design for better comfort. The grip has a textured anti-slip pattern, and on the black model, it doesn't stand out much. After fiddling with the ES in my hands for a few days, there are already obvious signs of use on the grip. What was brand new now looks about 90% new. In terms of specs, you can choose between the 8840U and the HX370 CPUs, and of course, there's a significant price difference between them. The one I have is the HX370 version with 2GB RAM and 1TB storage, plus the AMD 890M graphics card. Basically, it's got everything a Windows handheld can offer. The battery is still 45Wh and supports 65WPD fast charging. Next, let's talk about the screen, the main focus of this upgrade. The display has been upgraded from a 7-inch IPS panel to an OLED screen with 1080p resolution. It supports up to a 144Hz refresh rate. Switch between 60, 90, 120, and 144Hz. sRGB color gamut reaches 100%, and DCI P3 reaches 133%. Peak brightness 800 nits and color accuracy high. Secondary screen upgraded from 3.50 inches to 4.50-inch IPS panel, with a 3:2 aspect ratio and 16:20:10:80. The colorimeter measured sRGB color gamut coverage at 99.7%, with a color volume of 143.6% and DCI P3 at 101%. Overall, screen quality improved significantly. To play with a dual-screen handheld, you must start by trying classic retro games. The secondary screen features a smart dual screen, allowing you to select which window to capture. Clicking the secondary screen interaction button on the left closes the functional window at the bottom for a full screen effect. Doesn't this look a lot like a 3DS? Besides retro games, you can also open game guides while playing, learning as you play, or watch live streams and videos, using it as a secondary display. In addition, you can also monitor the game's frame rate, TPP, and power consumption in real time. The performance window allows direct TPP and fan mode settings. Compared to traditional handhelds, it eliminates pressing a button for AYA quick settings. The quick access menu includes common functions like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, closing games, keyboard access, exiting screenshots, and more. It can even serve as a keyboard or touchpad, so emergency PowerPoint edits aren't a problem. By the way, why does the keyboard shortcut still appear on the main screen? I'm not really on board with this. If you prefer typing on a physical keyboard, you can also choose the Flip KB from the same series, which comes with physical keys. When it comes to gaming, let's bring in our old friend Forza Horizon 5. With graphics set to 1080p and running at 15 watts in an open environment, the frame rate can stay above 60 FPS. At 720p with low graphics settings, the frame rate can reach 90 FPS. I've been playing Dynasty Warriors Origins. As a hack and slash, many characters are on screen and battles get chaotic. At 20 watts on low graphics settings, around 40 FPS, and at 30 watts it reaches 50 FPS. These intense battles demand a lot from the hardware. Because it's a dual-screen device, the peripheral power consumption is higher than with a single screen. If you want to extend battery life, you can turn off the secondary screen while playing. With the secondary screen off, playing at 15 watts or 20 watts, the peripheral power consumption is around 10 watts. At 15 watts, the battery lasts about an hour and a half. Judging from the game's frame rate performance, using around 20 watts of TPP is more than enough to play AAA games. Increasing the TPP further doesn't bring a significant improvement in frame rate, but it does drastically reduce battery life. For cooling, it uses a VC vapor chamber and active fan cooling. At 26 degrees Celsius room temperature, with the fan at 100% speed and a 28-watt FPU stress test, the CPU stabilizes at 80 degrees. As a clamshell handheld, the main screen doesn't get hot. The highest temperature is 52 degrees Celsius on the left side of the secondary screen. In the controller area, the D-pad is slightly warmer, but the rest of the grip is near body temperature, making it fine for normal gaming. The temperature at the cooling exhaust vent is 52 degrees, but this doesn't affect the use of the nearby expansion buttons. The buttons themselves stay at a normal temperature. Overall, the advantage of the AYANEO Flip ES lies in its customizable dual screens. You can play classic dual screen games, watch videos, monitor the handheld's power consumption, adjust its performance, and even expand it into a keyboard and mouse touchpad. Compared to the first generation, there are now more new ways to play. You can choose between the 8840U and HX370 processors,